This is another installment of We the People. We the people would like to do away with ceremonial weigh-ins. Yes, we would like to do away with the ceremonial weigh-ins. I believe that it's already enough controversy where there aren't any real rules with rehydration that we shouldn't have any more mystique. It's not so that people can look at, it's not for any alternative other than people being able to gauge how a fighter looks when he weighs in. I wasn't too fond of it when the ceremonial weigh-in happened with Devin, even though I know historically there's been more. And I even went online. I was trying to look up the history of it. It's kind of hard to find it, so maybe one of the OGs will address it or something, and somebody will bring more to light of this ceremonial weigh-in. But I didn't like it because when it was visible, when fighters were visible, it was certain fighters that were visible, we could see that they looked like skeletons. Like, we gotta think that, like, right now in sports, like with sports betting and all that, like, that's kind of vital to actually know and be able to see, at that time, within that range, when they stepped on the scale, that we was able to see that fighter. We always get the rumors, and I know it's good for, like, it's good for talks and to say, oh man, to be able to show different levels of discipline. But that was one prideful thing that a lot of the athletes, like Floyd, gotta bring them up. Always weighing in on the scales, like at the weight that they need to be at. The ones who never miss weight and, really took pride in everything leading up to the fight, the things that's happening inside the ring. So when I saw the ceremonial weigh-in with Devin and Kambosos, and then I think it was the ceremonial weigh-in with Devin and Loma. I don't know. And then when I think the Bud and Spence was ceremonial, and I was like, hold on, man. Like, I didn't like it. I'm not a nitpicker. I'm really not a nitpicker when it comes to boxing. Actually, I'm trying to, figure out more things about things that happen in the ring in the actual fight. Like, really things to, like, really address. Because it's a lane to address these things. And I don't really like the ceremonial weigh-ins. I haven't really heard anybody. A lot of people would just, curtsy or toe the line, or if somebody's trying to make a point that they're pro, they'll come out and say that they're con, or if somebody's saying that they're not, they'll come out and say that they're pro. Not all the politics. Not those kind of politics. Just the fact that we should be able to see the fighters when they get on the scale. I don't know what the mystery is. There are a lot of ceremonial things to boxing. And as a hardcore, we love those, like the ring walk. Ring walk is a good ceremonial time. When the ref goes in and they stand in the center of the ring and he's giving out the rules, or, when we see them, doing the thing with the gloves and the referee giving their commands and telling them their stuff in the locker room. All those things are ceremonial. Those are just the little jewels and nuggets that we as hardcore boxing fans, when we get to see it all. Because that's what we like to see. We like to see it all. But in my endeavors online to try to see if I was the only one, or what I'm reading into what everybody else is saying about these ceremonial weigh-ins, is that we don't favor them. We don't like them. But I even was looking at the UFC audience, and some of them are like, man, it's atrocious. One dude was just like, man, he was like, the 145-pound strap, he said, man, the other dude that's walking around weight, man, he's walking around at 170 pounds, man. It don't make sense. Like, they need to, he said they need to weigh in 2 hours before the fight. If you don't make the weight, you don't get paid. I mean, I like the fact that the weigh-in is the day before and they have that day to the next day. They'll have till that next day to get it in, unless it's like IBF rules or whatever, which I think it should be another recap. I do think it should be able to be a window, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess that's starting to become a much appreciated talent, how much you can drain yourself and then rehydrate back up. So I think that's a talent, it's a skill. All body types can't do it, and at a certain point in time, your body's gonna start having adverse reactions to it, and it can mess you up in the long run. I seen another perspective of a gentleman who said that his whole concern was the safety of it all, and the fact that when you're not hydrated right, you are sustainable, like with head injuries and head traumas to sustain, like blood clotting and all kind of crazy stuff. So you really need to be fighting at your hydrated weight, or close. I mean, you know, you need to be fighting closer to your walk around weight, because sometimes the rehydration don't go right. Like, depending on the climate, the circumstances, like all kind of different things don't go right. So he had a real good point too. So I seen it for, you know, the competition part, where, you know, you want two people to, in general, as close as they can be pretty much the same size. That's what that really is. You want them, weight wise, you want them to be the same size, in that same window, in that same ballpark, give or take a few. That's what you really want to see, who's the man right down there, since there's so many weight classes. That's what you really want to see. You don't want to see somebody with a talent to be able to suck themselves down and then balloon up and it not go right, and somebody hit them in the head and it be over. So I think for safety and to put equity back in the sport, to keep some kind of integrity back in the sport. We already hearing about, you know, supplements and things like that, and all these, you know, it's just another wrinkle, man, that I don't think ceremonial weigh-ins favor the sport. So we the people ask that we do away with these ceremonial weigh-ins. Peace.